I think the Dice Masters collector's boxes occupy a space that some people weren't exactly sure how to judge, myself included, which is why I only just now got one. So if this is something that you were thinking, should I get this, should I not? Hopefully this gives you a little bit of information. Now, I've gone through and looked through everything and opened everything up except for the booster packs. So, you're gonna I've gone through this. This isn't just an unboxing. But I did want you to get to see an idea of what you can expect from this to decide, is this for me or not? This sells for around $20 generally. Of course, there's one for the Avengers versus X-Men set that is much more difficult to find. But nonetheless, this is the Dice Masters Collector's Box. It's supposed to have a way to help you store your dice, move it from place to place, store some cards in there as well. And while I don't think it will hold my entire collection, I do think that it might be a good way to either hold some of my frequent flyers, dice that I use on a lot of different teams, or perhaps to transport multiple teams at once. In fact, that latter purpose was the main reason I finally decided, alright. So, let's take a look inside. So, as you might expect, the collector's box is indeed a box. It's actually a pretty nice board game quality box, so I mean, you don't have to worry too much about the durability. You have all the images and everything else. Now, a big criticism is that a lot of people, or a lot of things will say on here, this is everything you need to play. In fact, well, I don't see it on here. It's not entirely true. It gets you started. You don't have any of the starter set characters for this, but with 4 packs, a promo Professor X, and all the basic action cards plus sidekicks and action dice, in a way it is, because you have Professor X Global and you have whatever you get from those 4 packs, and that might be enough to start. But let's look inside. When you first get this is right on top, and I left it here. This is a nicer checklist, well, relatively nicer, and perhaps a more usable playmat than what comes in the middle of the rule books. That's pretty cool. This is really pretty much the artwork that you have in relief of the official big playmats. So this is not too bad, actually. Get it laminated, and it could be very helpful for you. We have this tray, or this cover for the tray, and note the note. 4 foil packs are below the dice tray. I did not notice that note at first, and I said, hey, where are my foil packs? Good old silica. The basic action cards come in a little plastic thing like this, and this is them right here. So nothing too surprising. This is exactly what we have in the Uncanny X-Men set. If you get this and you're like, well, why do I need these again? Because you already have the starter. Well, I mean, if you're trying to get more people in to the game, that's not necessarily horrible. Oh, and here's our Professor X promo. This is also something they were using as a prize for top 8 at the WizKids National, so I got one of these too. And yeah, so it's a spare. I don't know what I'll do with the extra. Something for Lauren to use. But anyway, you're trying to get somebody into the game. Well, perhaps these are cards that you can give to them. Perhaps that's a way to do it, because you do already have these. Let's look at these dice. These are the nicer dice. I will tell you, they feel much closer to the dice that we got with D&D than they do the dice that we've had in the original couple of sets. The indents are nice and deep. It's a good cut on here. The quality is really just quite nice, and they're pearlescent. And I dig the pearlescent dice. You know that if you listen to us enough. But you do just get 8. So this is really only a 1-player solution. Then of course we have the oops, my goodness. Well, that went right in there. The action dice. They're a little easier to tell apart here, actually. I don't know if the gray just helps. I don't know why that would help. But the pink is a much brighter pink. The purple is a much richer purple. The brown and the purple don't look so alike the way they did last time, or the way they did coming with the set. So these are definitely nicer, an upgrade. I wish they had them in the primary colors, because I tend to use those more, but I can live with it. I'll use these. That's fine. The big feature, I just dropped a die. The big feature, and I'll find that later, and the big draw, if you already have this stuff, is this tray. This is meant to hold your dice.
They fit 5 across, which will hold, well, most characters go at least 4. Some of them do have 5 as their max. So, I mean, I suppose with the basic actions, you're going to have 2 left over, 1 plus the one that I dropped on the floor, and that I don't see anywhere, and that I may never have again. Oh, here it is. So I suppose that covers your sidekicks and basic actions. So 5 across isn't ideal, but I think you could do a nice job like just dividing up your team. If I have 20 dice on a team, up to 20, then this is going to take up 4 compartments for my team. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And here's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So I could probably fit 1, 2, 3, 4 full teams in here, plus my sidekicks and basic actions. Oh wait, look, there's more, because under the dice bag is another compartment. So add another 5, 6, probably 7 teams I can fit in here reliably without having to worry too much about it. I can take over those extra slots at the end with my sidekicks, so everything evens out a little bit more. This is the dice bag that you get. It is much better than the regular bags that you get. It has a drawstring, so that's kind of nice. Doesn't pull so well. Is this supposed to come out too? There it is. Yeah, I mean, okay. Is it better than the other bags? Yes. Will I use it? Yes, but not as my primary bag. This will be for storage. A lot of times, teams that I keep together, I throw the dice inside these bags. So that's just me. I guess I will have less reason for that now that I have this. We also have an area here to store cards. Let's get an idea of how much this will store. I have my entire set of Uncanny X-Men right here. Minus promos, minus basic actions. That just quite is too much. I do have some doubles in here, so that's not quite perfect. But that's for a full set. I probably don't have this to store a full set. I have this to store my teams. And if I can fit almost a full set of, one set in here, that's a lot of cards. And that's just in one slot. I could probably fit several of my teams in sleeves, no problem. Let's see how sleeve cards work. Sleeve cards are perfect. Nice and fit, and lots of glare. Sleeve cards are perfect. So that's absolutely worth it. They really did think of the fact that people are going to sleeve cards. I wasn't someone who sleeved with this game. I do now, as I've acquired more promos and other things like that. I realized not sleeving them is dumb. All right. Now, my brother did get one of these, and I saw that he was also trying to see if, can I use this same compartment on the top? Like, can these be used too? Because you can. There are indents. There are indents to be able to lift this out and keep it kind of straight. So, like, can I use this as a tray too? And I don't know what he determined the answer was. So we're going to put this lid on, we're going to shake it up, and we're going to find out. Lovely. Let's see. Well, okay. Yes, I'd say that is viable. That is a possibility. So you actually have double the space you might think you do, because as long as your lid is secure, and as we heard, the box fart. Oh, not so bad that time. This is pretty good. And those dice didn't go anywhere. So I'd say in that sense, we have a winner. We actually have double the space than you might think. All right, I saved some human drama. Let's see what boosters we got here. Boosters are underneath. That's about it. Underneath, that means then if you could fit boosters underneath with no problem. Yeah, I can't show you the underneath of this without. Let's dump these sidekicks. Everywhere except for underneath where the cards go, there's a bit of depth there, so you could kind of fit extra stuff underneath, extra dice bags, or a case for your team, or just some sleeves for if you get some cards because you're drafting or something like that. You can fit more in here, and that's good too. So, before I get to the booster packs, let me say, spacious box, much more spacious than you'd think because, oops, this works too. For storage alone, this is not bad. I think that it's just plastic, but it's durable enough. It's regular board game insert quality. The box itself is decent thick cardboard. It's not like a cheap puzzle box. This is a regular old board game box. The playmat is fine. It's also good if you're learning because it has the helper arrows, or if you're teaching somebody. That's pretty nice. The die bag is so-so. So is this worth 20 bucks? Oh, boy. Maybe. I think it depends on what's worth it to you. If you're somebody who wants to bling out the game by getting these nifty, awesome-looking sidekicks and everything like that, if you're someone who wants to bling out the game, fine. Like, here's 4 booster packs, right? So let's just say that instead of 20, it's this plus 4 booster packs. It's like 16 bucks. We get the basic action cards. We get the nicer die bag, relatively. We get the promotional Professor X. Yeah, so what's it all worth? Gosh, I don't know. If you want to bling your game out, you want to have a nice storage solution for all of your teams, I think this is the best. I mean, I've been using a Magic gift box from Khans of Tarkir, and it holds all of my sets pretty well. But I don't want to take all of my cards everywhere. And I don't want to take all of the crazy bead boxes that I have with my dice everywhere. So if I'm looking for a solution to just get what I want, where I want it, have some rooms for my teams, and have some room for cards that I want to trade, this is for me. And I'm actually, looking at this, very glad that I got it. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's see if I got anything good. I should have Lauren here to do this because she always opens the good stuff. Alright, Iron Man and a Cable, so we have a shot at the super rare. Cable's just common. Oh my gosh! Hey, I pulled a super rare. There we go. Iron Man Industrialist. I did not have this one. So we cancel all damage that villains deal to Iron Man. Double Iron Man's attack value while he is engaged with a villain. Global. Pay shield. Target character gains the villain affiliation. So that's something common. I want to see what uses we have for this going forward, especially with all the craziness that we have coming up with villains. And at 6, he is actually within purchase, within the realm of purchasing, just as we see with Hulk and everything like that. And I think this is a card that will get better with age. So I'm hanging on to this guy. In fact, oops, something just fell. In fact, he's going right into a sleeve. Wonderful. I'm thrilled about that. All right, let's see what else we have here. Well, now my day is made. Yeah, now the box is definitely worth it, right? All right, so we have a She-Hulk and a Mystique. I call her that. I don't know why. Probably makes some people mad. Uncommon She-Hulk, which is I've always been a fan of. And Mystique. Just her common. 1+1/+1 for each die, and each die in my prep area. So that's fine. I guess the big question at the end, ooh, we got Storm and Falcon. Let's see if we got the sidekick Falcon. Nope, just the basic old Falcon. And then the one that, the Storm, that can will do what she can do there, paying the mask. Iceman and Apocalypse. Alright, so we got another uncommon here. And we have Apocalypse Awakened. So I guess the question is, could I put a team together with the cards that I just got here? My answer is an emphatic yes. Let me get a sleeve for that Professor X. I'll put him in white so I can differentiate the Nationals Award. I have that one in black. Could I put a team together? My answer here is yes. 1, I have Professor X. That's a great start. 2, I have this Iceman here. And he can do some powerful stuff. I have a 2-drop, which is good for my early buy. So 2, 4, and then even a 6 purchase if I really want it. She-Hulk offers some decent blocker control. Apocalypse is okay. Mystique, nice early carry with masks. More masks for Professor X. If you get the right roll, sure. And then another a Cable with a global here that, so... Right, this would be like Highlander, and I guess you don't have a Professor X die, which would be a problem, but those are pretty plentiful, and anybody would have one to let you borrow. Could I play a game with this team? Yes. And in fact, because I have Professor X, and because I have a 4-drop with decent stats, and a 2-drop that can help me that can be an early buy for me, I actually have a chance at being somewhat competitive. That's not right. I have a chance of being somewhat competitive. That's really cool. So, is this everything you need to play, as a lot of things say? Not exactly, but I guess if you open the right booster packs, it is. And Professor X really gives you the opportunity to be competitive right away in Uncanny X-Men if you understand using his economy perfectly. So, that's all from me. This is Dave from the Reserve Pool signing off. Please check out our websites, check out the forums, and do all that great stuff, our weekly podcast and the like. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye. It's awkward waving to myself. Bye. Yes.